Endless Summer Beach Party.
My name is DK. I'm live in my cave in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Yes, live from Queens, New York. I am and of course, the epicenter of something, as always.
Listener discretion is advised.
You there, boy. What day is this?
It's Friday night.
Friday night is cool.
Thank God it's
This is the best day of my life.
Just Friday. Oh yeah. Friday night, Friday. I'm in love.
We gotta do something. Absolutely. You know what we gotta do?
What are you gonna do?
We're gonna go out and party.
For the first time in my life, I feel like there's hope.
It's Friday.
And you're tuned into Cave Crew Radio.
Friday night. Cave Crew Radio is the name of the show, ladies and gentlemen. DK here with Big B here on the pre-show, and hey, it's just you and me.
Just you and me. It seems like that was a song at one point, probably in the 70s.
Baby, we got a lot of stories tonight.
We certainly do, and we have a special segment amongst these stories.
Special segment and special announcement. A double, as we call them in Canada.
I can't wait.
And last week was great, ladies and gentlemen. If you missed it, go back and watch, go back and listen. Hopefully he's going to come back again. But Eric the Swede, he has turned into a real vaudevillian showstopper now.
Eric the Swede, and he surprised me a lot because I remember back when we first talked to him, he was kind of timid. You know, he was much more outgoing last week than I remember.
Oh, he stole the screen and screen shared.
It was awesome.
And of course, he was in the house. I can never understand these codes. Hey guys, from Jason Scott, and then it says Amanda.
What I'm thinking is Amanda stole Jason's phone and is posting as Jason Scott.
This is like the Skylanders of live radio.
That's identity theft, Amanda.
Yeah, identity theft but he was good. And the other thing I got to recognize before we go into the pre-show stuff is how well you did at My Little Pony, Believe It or What.
I told you I'm
champion.
I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't know anything about My Little Pony. But like we had said privately in our conversations, when there's multiple choice, I can kind of try to make an educated guess about it. And that's, I got lucky on a couple of them.
And Amanda is watching a movie instead of watching us.
Jason,
yeah, but you knew that Pinkie Pie broke through the fourth wall. That was unbelievable.
I guessed. I can't say that I knew any. I guessed at the mall.
Well, you guessed right, and that's half the. That's what gambling is.
That is what. And can I tell you the very last question? Where they send the message with the breath, that was the answer.
Yeah.
And I chose the tail. I was absolutely going to say it was the breath, but then I thought better of it because I wasn't thinking dragon.
Yeah.
I was still thinking horses, but I would figure, that they would just blow stuff. But I was like, with the name Spike, probably the tail spikes off the tail. That made more sense to me.
But those little ponies, they're powerful dragon ponies.
I guess. Okay. I still
Anyway.
haven't watched one.
Anyway, the clock is ticking. The time has come. You've got big news about New York. It's very exciting.
We do have big news. Earlier this week, it was announced that New York State has reached 70% of all adults have been vaccinated, have had at least one portion of the vaccine. You know, if there was two, they have at least one of the two. And that meant that our fearless leader, shitbag Cuomo, opened everything.
Everything.
We no longer have any mandates. There are no masks. There are no social distancing. There is nothing. He dropped everything. We are 100% back to normal. The Yankees, as a matter of fact, was putting out, they are having the reopening day, they're calling it, full capacity at Yankee Stadium. If you're watching the NHL playoffs, you already see the Islanders out on Long Island, full capacity at Nassau Coliseum. So we are 100% open.
Also, a big parade for the first responders coming up. And in New York, and Michigan is reopening, and now Europe has opened their borders to the United States. I am also excited. As of 8 a.m. tomorrow, I need to get my ass out of bed and get on that computer to book my second vaccine.
Ooh.
We have booked a holiday here in Ontario in late July, Blue Mountains up by Collingwood. Pretty place. Lots to do and lots of outdoor stuff. But I'm really hoping that Nashville in September or October and perhaps Fort Lauderdale in March is becoming a real opportunity.
I believe, I mean, this is we're fully opening here in the U.S. I mean, the vaccines are going really well. Everything is opening now. It's really is literally getting back to normal. And Jason's saying he can't wait for that you guys to open and not have to wear a mask. Well, you got to get vaccine for that.
And home of Blue Mountain Pottery. I'll have to do some searching while I'm up there.
I was going to ask you when you said you're going to vacation in the Blue Mountains. Are you going to pick up some pottery? And if you are, I've been asking Jason and Amanda for pottery for like a month now, and I get nothing.
My family might think that I'm off the rocker, but I may grab a piece for our good friend Jason and one for you.
I would, yes, and that's what I would like a piece of Blue Mountain pottery.
If there's even Blue Mountain pottery still up it seems like it's scattered all over the place right now. I got bad news for Jason though. They're going to be looking for verification of full vaccination before you cross to New York. Not judging in any way. I'm just forewarning you.
Are they? Because I know here, like I said, we're open, but like for us, we don't have to show verification. It's just like assumed you're okay, so we can go in and out of stores. We can go wherever we want. I don't know what it is at the border if you have to show.
The border's been shut until July 21st, which really sucks because I'm not even a baseball fan. I want to go to a Tiger game and just soak it all up. And he says he'll quarantine at your house. But I think at the border and even going to, there's got to be something. I mean, they don't want another hashtag wave coming along in any of the countries, right? But I think everyone's excited. I can't wait for New Year's 2021. It's going to be exciting. American Thanksgiving again. It's going to be exciting when we finally get back to this. It's been far too long.
It certainly has.
And I'm not even an excited person. You know, I don't do much to begin with.
Right.
But I hate fucking masks. I fucking hate them.
Me too. And I know we had very little time left, but it's interesting because we're fully open. I go in stores without a mask, and most everybody's still wearing masks like it's the most natural thing now.
Yeah. Get out of it. Anyway, our thing popped down, so I'm going to I'm going to close off the usual stuff, and let's get into the show. We got a big show for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your friends, share the show, get us out there, and you will see us live on screen in just a minute. We're going to turn the radio on, and away we're going to go.
Air traffic control, bring in New York. Roger that. Bring in Canada. 10-4. Gentlemen, we have liftoff.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Warning, Will Robinson. This program contains bad words.
Use caution.
If easily offended, enter.
At your own risk.
It's an endless summer beach party.
On Cave Crew Radio.
When the world turned their back upon men with a dream and savage yearning within them, legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary, a consuming flame that defies plausible explanation, battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clement, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. It's a hard one goal.
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Cave Crew Radio is the name of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to be here with you tonight. We got a really big show planned for you. We had a guest last week, so we never got to any of our stories, and we've got a lot of really good stories to catch up with tonight. Anyhow, my name is DK. I'm live in my cave in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Cave Crew Radio is live every Friday on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course, cavecrewradio.com. And we are available on download wherever good podcasts can be found. Now joining me here in the hot seat, as always, the man who was knighted by the Queen herself, the self-proclaimed President of the United States, and of course, the epicenter of something, Sir Bigby.
Yes, live from Queens, New York, I am Sir Bigby, your President-elect of the United States of America. And as always, like you said, I am the epicenter of something. This week, I am the epicenter of all things Father's Day preparation.
Oh, and so I would assume someone is preparing this for you.
Absolutely not.
No.
I am preparing this for
never
myself.
get a day to ourselves, do we?
Of course not.
No.
On Mother's Day, we're expected to, either order a nice meal or go out. Like during COVID, we had to order a nice meal in, or take the wife out, make these wonderful gifts and all of that. For Father's Day, we're expected to grill and get the beer and get the ice and get all this stuff. We don't get a break.
No.
So
The lawn and make sure everything looks perfect. You may be lucky if the wife gives you a tie and some sides to go with the grill.
well, I already know what I'm getting because I was there when she got it. So
okay.
I'm well aware of what I'm getting. But what I did do was yesterday I ordered from our butcher. I ordered for delivery this morning a nice tomahawk steak. It's a 3-inch thick black Angus tomahawk steak.
Oh.
I ordered some smokehouse burgers. It's burgers with bacon and cheddar. And
inside of it.
Inside of it, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I ordered chicken wings, and of course hot dogs. You know, we get the kids.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be smoking and grilling tomorrow.
Now, this you ordered it yesterday. This is coming from Idaho.
No. This is coming from our butcher.
Oh, you're local.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're going to be the epicenter of all things indigestion by the end of that meal.
Well, and just today, I had ordered a couple of weeks ago, not having to do with Father's Day or anything. I saw it and I wanted it for outside. It's a deluxe outdoor barbecue prep table by Cuisinart.
Yeah.
And it's a stainless steel top, got 2 shelves, has a side rack for paper towels, has another on the other side, a little bracket to put a garbage bag, and it has a sink in it that you attach to your hose.
Mine doesn't have a sink. Mine doesn't have a sink.
Mine has a sink, so you attach the hose to it, and it's got a drain pipe. You just put a bucket underneath, and it'll drain out into the bucket. And you use it like a sink in the kitchen. Wash off some vegetables, wash your hands, whatever it is. It's wonderful. I ordered a couple of weeks ago from Walmart, and it was back ordered, so I had to wait. And it showed up today, just in time for the Father's Day celebration. Of course, I still have to put it together. So I have to put together the table.
Loads of fun.
Oh, I have to put together the table, smoke and grill the meats, get everything ready, make the sauces, do all for Father's Day, so I can relax.
But you love doing that.
Well, I love barbecue.
You won't be the epicenter of kindergarten or chasing dragons out in the yard. You'll have an excuse to do something that you enjoy. I enjoy cooking. I don't like cleaning.
Right.
I hate cleaning it up. But I enjoy the barbecue and the prep and the
it's wonderful. But can I just throw a caveat into this?
Sure.
We're doing this tomorrow. Sunday is Father's Day, but we're doing this tomorrow instead. Okay. And we're also doing my wife is calling it a dads and grads thing. So we are doing the kindergarten graduation. And my son, my older son, who is just finished freshman year of high school, going into sophomore year. So we're doing dads and grads. So I have to, not only do I have to build the table, cook the meat, do the sauces, and now I have to share the day with the kids.
Of course. It's hard being a dad.
It really is.
It is. I'm the same thing. What do you want? Well, I'd like a nice grilled meal, but no one knows how to grill like me. I had that prep table a while ago. I love it. Yeah. By the way, I don't have a sink on mine, but it's great. You store things. I've got my own butcher block out there, all my tools and towels, and it's great. You go out there and any last minute prepping, you don't have to run into the kitchen, and it's fantastic.
It's going to be great. And that's the whole reason why I saw, once I saw that with the sink, I said I have to have it, because there's so many times where I'm out there and I have to run inside to either fill something up with water, wash my hands, or do whatever. I can just hang out outside and do it.
Now, where are you drawing the water from?
It connects to a hose, so I got the spigot. So what I have is on the spigot outside. I got a splitter, so it'll have to the regular hose that you do the plants and all that stuff outside, and then I have to go I have to buy another hose that I will permanently attach to the prep table.
Right. I've split mine this year for other functions, but that's very cool. I haven't even chose what I'm cooking for Father's Day yet. But
when is your Father's Day is not the same day, right? It's not. It's not this Sunday.
Yeah, ours is Sunday.
Yours is Sunday too.
It's England that's off the rocks. Gotcha. Jason and Amanda are fighting about their vaccines.
because
Please don't get me started.
they want to come to New York.
I only feel, and I have no opinion. There's people at my work that are still refusing to get vaccinated. I'm so excited to be fully vaccinated.
Right.
I think the reward of the people that have chosen to wear the armor should be the reward, and the other people that have chosen not to do it, which is their right, should continue to live in lockdown.
I don't care either way. I honestly don't care either way because I'm vaccinated. So if you're not vaccinated and want to walk around without a mask, I could give a shit because I'm vaccinated. Even if I do get sick, it won't be like the worst thing on the planet because I have the antibodies.
Anyway, it's a downer of a subject, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I am going in, waking up early tomorrow, and booking my full vaccination with hopes of the border opening and all kinds of eating a Coney dog in downtown Detroit, going to see a Tiger game, perhaps a concert, and no more of this shit. I'm not an exciting guy, but it's been too long.
How long do you have to, once you book the appointment, how long do you have to wait?
Well, last time I'm like, if I get in early, I could have it like Monday or something.
Oh, okay.
And, they say 2 weeks, and
right.
Jason Scott, being a true child of the cancellation culture, is just saying he just wants to exercise his rights and freedom by the Charter of Right. Just like we have to have fucking rainbow crosswalks at every fucking intersection, and we can no longer be called men or women. Yeah, I get it. I exercise the same Charter of Rights. I'm not worried about you at all. Not worried.
Absolutely. You are more than welcome in my house. I don't care if you're vaccinated or not. We're all vaccinated, so I don't give a shit.
I'll make sure to cough. But no, this is nothing to me. The vaccination is, we're doing it. I want my kid back in school, my kid back in sports, and my wife and I, and we're into it, and that's all that matters in our house. And what doing your house is your house. But, I still have a lot of issues with this cancellation culture. I honestly think it's time for a holocaust of liberals. But anyway, that's for another day. Jesus, it's working. It's starting to sound like Choo Choo Stew, or the artist formerly known as. Anyway, we got a lot to get to, guys. We got a fun show. Aside from all this other crap. There'll be crap coming up, by the way. But anyway, I am the epicenter of all things excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm extremely excited that we had a great guest last week, and we're getting to catch up on some excellent stories this week, which we got to make sure we give you a lot of time for. But I'm also excited for next Friday, when we will be, what did I do there? Oh, there you go, DK. I pushed the wrong button. There we go. There we go. We will be all things Raymond the Amish comic, Amish, whatever. He is confirmed for next Friday, June the 25th. If you have not seen Raymond on the show, you will probably not hear Big B and I speak. We will simply be peeing ourselves laughing. He's funny.
He is extremely funny, and he is nonstop.
He's nonstop. He is Amish, and he's great fun, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to ask him if he has been vaccinated. I wonder if that is a right of an Amish person.
Well, remember, he's not. He left the Amish world,
right?
So he was born Amish. He lived Amish for many, many years. He still dresses Amish,
right?
But he's out in the I don't know what you want to call it, the layman's world or whatever.
He's out in the real world now. He's like the Israelites that were led out of Egypt. He's wandering around in the desert for 40 years, awaiting the promised land of the Amish until they claim their rightful kingdom.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. Sounds good. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to waste any time tonight. Is there anything else you wanted to get to?
I have nothing.
Nothing. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to cue up our lovely post here. Let BB get a sip. You've got a few minutes. We got to cue this up, but we've got some stories to catch up on, ladies and gentlemen. And not only do we have a few stories to get to, but Big B has an exclusive segment of one of our favorite places in the world, and you will hear that momentarily.
I just have to get them. Hold on.
There we go.
Always unpredictable and always unfiltered. This is Cave Crew Radio.
Hey, good evening. And now the rest of the story.
It's time for this week's weird news. Now over to the CCR news desk with senior correspondent Big B.
Now, this is where the pressure comes on me, because Big B did tell me the order of the story. So
I certainly did.
And I will pull this in.
Is
and
that
over to the senior correspondent, Big B.
Is that the story?
News.
I didn't see. Oh, I guess it is. Okay. I didn't see her picture in the story, so I was just questioning it.
Checked. I do my diligence on my end.
Sure, I believe you.
Okay.
So this is coming from Pennsylvania. A Pennsylvania woman.
Mennonites, Quakers. Yeah. Okay. Good lead.
There you go. A Pennsylvania woman has been charged in a murder for hire plot after allegedly trying to have her husband killed on a payment plan. Now, this is if you watch all the murder shows and ID and stuff, you see this happen all the time where one spouse tries to hire a murder for hire to kill the other spouse. But generally it's money up front and, the rest when everything's finished.
Right. Or maybe promise to pay from the life insurance money.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question.
Sure.
When did we get away from just plain old divorce?
It's not fun anymore. I mean, what fun is divorce when you can plot to kill somebody?
Yeah. Roe versus Wade killed it all.
There you go. Claudia Carrion, 44, stands accused of criminal solicitation to commit homicide after she allegedly tried to hire an undercover detective as a hitman to take out her husband, who she believed was abusing her and her family, as well as cheating on her with several other women. Now, I have a problem with this statement already. She believed she was being abused. Either you are or you aren't.
Yeah. There's no question. You're either being struck or you're being mentally abused, or there's evidence there. I get
evidence. Yeah. It's not. I believe
it. It's not that you're against it. There's no question.
Right. Either you are or you aren't.
It's black or white. There is no gray.
There is no gray.
There is no gray.
She was arrested and charged on Friday after an undercover operation that was conducted on Thursday, police claim. According to a criminal complaint reviewed by local independent news station WFMZ, the defendant described in detail why she wanted her husband killed before paying, drum roll please.
Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. I went and lit a smoke.
$100 deposit.
Is this freaking hitman on meth? How desperate is he?
$100. That's a little less than
Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil.
$100.
Authorities allege that Carrion originally agreed to pay $4,000 for the value
price. A little more fair for the risk of going to jail for the rest of your life.
And generally, in watching these crime shows that I watch all the time and seeing the various things, anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 is generally the rate that is agreed upon for these contract for hire murders before they're obviously arrested in the police sting. But
it's nice to see that you have the blue book value on
certainly do.
assassination.
I certainly
that's
do.
Something no other show, be it popular television, worldwide news, or podcast, or talk radio, no one has the blue book on assassinations but you.
It's yet another CCR fact that you can only hear on this show. She planned to pay $4,000 during the meetup. She expressed an inability to pay the amount in full. After some negotiations, a payment plan was agreed upon. The deposit was paid, and remember, it was $100.
Yeah,
and she was arrested.
She's the one that got arrested.
The purportedly
winner and who is the loser?
Right.
Hitman doing the negotiations, or the bitch that came up with this got away with it for $100, and she's the one that got arrested.
It's like she was looking online for a murderer and clicked the PayPal finance over a year at 10% rate.
She went on Fiverr.
Right.
She went on Fiverr and looked for a hitman.
The purportedly scorned wife also allegedly admitted to police that she paid the deposit using 5 $20 bills.
Oh, yeah.
Not even like a crisp 100.
Yeah.
5 $20 bills.
Right, you're going.
Right.
Yeah. It's not just handing a Cinco de Mayo over. It looks like a big deal. You can put an elastic band around it and fluff them up a little bit and make it sound like you're handing over a wad. Your down payment layaway on the murder.
Right. She said the remainder of the balance would be paid off in weekly installments.
I love this so much.
Like you're saving for your 401k. Every week a little bit goes over there. It's the 401 murder. That murder by layaway was to be paid off in $100 installments. So I guess they were going to pay $4,000, $100 a week.
I have a question about this, like you often do.
Sure.
So you're to me, not that if my wife is listening, I'm not planning on murdering you.
Right.
I think I'd want to do the deal and be done with it. I don't think I'd want 52 weeks or whatever it is of meeting up at Skippy's and giving you 5 crisp 20s.
Well, I'm thinking, judging from the picture, she looks to be about our age, right? Yeah. Give or take a couple of years.
Judge with them.
But when we were little, you remember your parents wanting to buy stuff for Christmas and they'd go to the store and put it on layaway. And you'd have to go with them to the store.
Well, I'm aware what layaway is.
No, but what I'm saying is you would have to go with them to the store and watch them pay off weekly. Right. She took this as a way of life. So if whatever you're going to do in life, whether it be buy a car or murder somebody, you're going to do it via layaway.
Right.
That's the fun way to do things.
The ironic part of this is I hadn't heard about layaway in about 15, 20 years until the story came up. I don't even know if layaway exists because there's payment plans, there's leasing, there's no credit purchases.
Right.
I haven't heard of layaway since I was very young.
She's trying to bring layaway back.
Yeah,
there's more to the story though. Okay. She allegedly told
she's putting the tomb on layaway as well.
Well, she allegedly told an investigator after being arrested that she previously attempted to have a hitman kill her husband, but that first attempt did not work out. I guess the $100 a week plan wasn't good for that hitman. He wanted his money up
quality, right? Is what you're saying. It's like you're going quantity over. Yeah. You're playing a specific number on the roulette wheel. You're not playing black or red, right? Yeah. I see it.
So the police became wise to the efforts by a confidential informant. That informant eventually led to the detective posing as a relatively cheap assassin who then visited Carrion to discuss the macabre plan at her home. She was
The
arraigned.
assassin was somebody that played like Call of Duty on Xbox. Some 15-year-old kid that thought they were an excellent shot at Fortnite or something like that. And they were making money. Jason Scott in the chat says it's pretty smart actually, because it's easy to hide small payments instead of a large sum.
But let's think about this logically now. It's the same premise as borrowing money from the mob.
Right.
You have to pay them back in weekly payments with a VIG on top of it, which means interest.
Interest, yes.
So if you don't pay them back on a regular basis, they come and hurt you. Now,
he'd go to the docks and he'd break the fingers and shit.
Right. In this instance, she's paying an assassin, quote unquote, an assassin to kill her husband. Now, if she decides not to pay him on the weekly stipend, she herself could be killed. So that's not exactly the best business decision.
Before we go into Jason's latest comment, which is valid, I'm curious. So, what happens? She's waiting for the what did you call that? The virus money to come in. It doesn't arrive as expected, and she misses a couple of payments. What happens to her?
Then the assassin? You got to figure if this was a real assassin, he would have killed her husband. If he's not getting his money, what's stopping him from coming and killing her?
Now,
is she going to go to the police for this? No.
Well, of course not. She's dead. But my question to that is, but then the assassin is the big loser because there's two bodies out there, and he's only collected 5 crisp 20s.
But
I think it's in his interest to kind of string her along and hope that maybe charge her extra. Say you owe me another 20 next week.
But all right, but let's go down that path. So say he strings her along for a little bit and he's still not getting her money. There's a chance that, as I just said, she could go to the cops and turn him in, even though she would face jail time herself. But in order to save her own life, she may sacrifice her freedom for that and turn him in, and he would face obviously the bigger sentence for actual murder. So it may be that he doesn't want any witnesses.
Valid point as well. Yeah. And Jason says in chat, maybe she has good credit. She's got a low interest rate.
But you know what? If you're buying a car at 3% interest, who says you can't hire an assassin at 1.5% APR?
Business has got to be bad for murder, though. When assassins are offering layaway plans.
Hey, everybody was affected by COVID. You got to make money somehow.
As we often do in these stories and whatnot. Like so did they both end up going to jail, or it doesn't tell us? I'm assuming.
Well, it's not the assassin was an undercover cop. So she was arrested.
You didn't tell us that portion. Well, that's why he's offering layaway.
Right. The assassin was an undercover cop. So she was arraigned after midnight on Friday and is currently being held in the Lee County Jail in lieu of $500,000 bail. It's still unknown whether she's trying to pay it off on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's a long time to be away. And now it's kind of, that one kind of makes sense at the end. Undercover cop, all right, she's not biting for the $4,000. So what a brilliant, let's turn the hat on this. So Beretta is sitting there and go, maybe it wasn't even her idea. Maybe it was his idea. Let's do a layaway plan. I just gotta get you. I just got to set the hook, right?
It says they originally agreed to pay $4,000, but she expressed an inability to pay the amount. After some negotiations, a payment plan was agreed upon.
What a sharp cop!
And not for nothing. All right, you're going to hire somebody to kill your spouse. If this person is offering you a payment plan, there's something wrong with that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Red flags should pop up all over the place saying, sure, give me $100 and then $100 a week. No problem. Give me a beer and some cigarettes. I'll be fine. Red flags should pop up and you should turn tail and run.
It's all coming back to me now. It all makes sense in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, we take these stories, we dissect them, and we give you the most rational answer. Fantastic. I think the next one is the trapped person. Am I right?
I believe so. Let me get back to it. Hold on. I believe yes, which should be the trapped person.
Ladies,
I have a lot of questions about this.
You're listening to. I can't wait. You're listening to Cave Crew Radio, ladies and gentlemen, and here is the next headline.
The next headline comes from your neighboring state where you love to go, Michigan.
Oh, God. Okay, great.
A woman who got stuck in a folding chair had to be freed by the fire department using the jaws of life. Said the entire ordeal started with her making stuck fetish content.
Stuck fetish content. And I notice, you probably can't see because of the border, but the left picture there, she's on TikTok.
Yes, in the lower right-hand corner, you can see the very top of the logo of TikTok. It says, I've done dozens of videos and I've had times before where I've panicked and thought that I couldn't get out of something, but I've always pushed myself through it no matter how bad it hurts. Sydney Joe is her name, told BuzzFeed News. I've had to unscrew things before, but I've never actually been entirely stuck like that. It was honestly really scary.
What kind of fetish is this? Don't they tie themselves up and get whipped? And
it says later on in the story.
Okay.
Joe, who lives in Ann Arbor, Michigan, made an appeal on TikTok for advice after getting trapped between a black folding chair.
So wait a minute. Before she called the fire department, she made a TikTok video.
Yes.
This is beautiful.
I generally pick areas that I'm pretty sure I can get out of. And I saw the chair and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get out of that. It's going to be a tight squeeze, but I'm positive I can get out, she said. She said she was about 30 minutes into making the video, a half an hour, ladies and gentlemen, when she realized she couldn't free herself. She was getting stuck for a half an hour. That's when I stopped recording and kind of panicked and went on TikTok live. She stopped her recording of the video. She panicked. And instead of calling
one, how did I miss it?
Instead of calling 911, call the police, call help, call your neighbor, for God's sake. She went on TikTok.
TikTok, yes. This is the generation that we talk about each and every week. She wanted to be a social influencer, and she thought that the masses out there, she was just probably, well, not sitting, she's standing there waiting for the comments to arrive.
Right.
Is there any comments available in this article?
Only when she asked for help and they told her to call the fire department.
What a boring comment.
The 27-year-old shared that she had been creating content for the fetish community for 9 years and had grown a following for her stuck videos. She said fans would pay $1.99 per minute to watch
Why would you do that when she's broadcasting on TikTok for free?
For free. Fans would pay $1.99 per minute to watch creators like herself place themselves in compromising positions and then get free.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
We got to find this website. Creators like herself. There's more of them.
Apparently there's more. Typically they want to see you get stuck in something and actually struggle to get out, like not fake at it at all. They want to see you get unstuck at the end, though they don't want to see you get permanently stuck. On this occasion, Joe found herself completely
Amanda
unable to
would
break
have
free.
suggested dish soap.
Some fucking Pam. Spray it with Pam.
WD-40 cures.
WD-40. On this occasion, Joe found herself completely unable to break free, and on the advice of her TikTok audience, she made a call to the fire department.
Each story gets weirder.
Now we have to find the clip because the TikTok clip, which has now been
I have the
viewed.
clip of the other one that you got, but I don't have the clip of that one.
Well, this one apparently has been viewed more than 7 million times. It shows firefighters arriving at Joe's home. After failing to free her with bolt cutters, they changed tactics and used the jaws of life.
They used the jaws of life to get her out of a chair. And it's all being streamed live on TikTok.
Yes, it is all being streamed live on TikTok.
So while waiting for the fire department, she didn't think, well, maybe I'll end the live. And I'll try another trick. I'll be a fabulous. We'll end another day.
Yeah. This made her a viral star, obviously, because it's been 7 million.
Well, you're correct. We're talking
views.
about it, right? So,
right, of course. After she got unstuck and everything went viral, she says, "It blows my mind. I've had so many people from the stuck fetish community reach out to me saying they saw the TikTok and they really appreciate how dedicated I am to my work. So that was really cool too." There is a stuck fetish community.
yeah, I'm really thinking that we got to get into the stuck fetish content community and dive a little deeper. This is one of those. This is someone we got to get on the show.
This is like what they described earlier, that they want to see people get stuck in things and struggle to get out. You know who watches that? Fucking psychopathic serial killers, because they jerk off on fucking women struggling to get out of things because that's their fantasy. And then that night they're going to go fucking tie up somebody and rape them and kill them.
Right. She's going to swipe left on Tinder or something.
Right.
So Amanda says her big ass had her stuck then. Amanda thinks she'd be in the same boat. Amanda, don't do anything like that. Just keep collecting pottery and selling Scentsy.
Don't indulge the stuck fetish community.
And if Jason Scott tries to get you to try any of these things, call us immediately. Do not go on TikTok.
I'm fat. Like there's this like porn craze where it's like, women get stuck in the washing machine supposedly, and somebody comes along and fucks them, or they get stuck under the table and somebody comes along and fucks them. But this is a whole other thing.
This is a girl fully clothed.
Right. This is a whole other thing. This is actually being stuck, and homicidal maniacs are getting off on this.
Like, I see, this is how I'm trying to buy into this fetish piece, is that this girl is dressed like a normal girl that would go to 7-Eleven or Walmart or whatever, doing her daily thing. And like, it's not even like she's in leather and lace.
But that's the thing. As far as this goes, the people that are attracted to this, it's not a sexual thing. It's a domination thing.
Right. So I have a question.
Sure.
I'm watching this on TikTok, and I have a very nice crimson ass young lady.
Right.
How am I going to get her pants off?
You're not.
Well, then how am I going to? Oh my God, Amanda, we would never do that to you. We have to have Amanda play. We have to have Amanda play folding chair twister.
Oh my goodness, choo-choo mania!
Make a note of that. Folding chair twister for Amanda.
Folding chair twister.
And she will have her leopard skin yoga pants on. And anyway, okay. So this obviously doesn't pertain to me because the guy's not putting her over a washing machine and bang.
Right. It's not like I said, that's in porn. That's like, the legitimate porn actors doing this. This is a whole other thing that's not sexual. It's all about domination. And what, these people that get off, most of them, 99% won't act on it. But, they have those tendencies where they get off on stuff like that, not sexually. They may, jerk off to it, but it's not meant to be a sexual thing. It's a psychological thing. And there's that 1% that will see this, go out, find a woman, tie them up, rape them, and kill them because they want to see them struggle.
TikTok and be pissing my pants. And as people said in chat, I would have been in the comments going, warm some butter in the microwave and like, I don't know, but
I don't understand what the mentality of this fucking generation is. You're stuck. Whatever reason you got stuck in a chair, you're stuck. The first thing you do is go on TikTok. You don't call for help. You don't phone a friend.
Phone a friend. She's got a lifeline. It's
right. You're right. You're not fucking. Who wants to be a millionaire? Reach out.
Would you want to call me? Let's say we were neighbors and we're friends. We know each other a long time. Hello, DK. Don't say anything to the wife or your wife or any of the other neighbors. I'm stuck in a chair.
Yes. Either that or go on TikTok.
I guess humble yourself before one friend and allow yourself to be the subject of years of inside jokes or expose yourself as she is right now,
right
in front of the entire. Has the Houdini of said stuck fetish? Is there any mention of any of her other stunts? Do we know them? Like,
no,
has she tried to place a leg through a steering wheel? And
there is no other mention of other stuck videos other than she's been doing this for years. So this is like
this show is, damn well, and maybe you won't, but I'll admit it. I am now going to have to do some show research on stuck fetish content. I have no choice.
You have to. We have to follow up on this and bring this to the show.
I hope the kids aren't hearing this. I don't want them to get put their feet in the spokes of their bicycles. And
Jason, I told you will have to answer some uncomfortable questions in the morning.
There's headphones for a reason, Amanda. Put them on. Anyway, all right. Another good. We're killing. This is probably the best stories we've had. And this is going to be a good one too. Before we get into the main event, I can't wait to hear what happens in this one.
Good times.
There we go. This looks like a dirty slip and slide.
This coming from NBC. I don't know where this is filmed, but coming from NBC. NBC has shut down
network. This
major network. NBC has shut down production of its competition series Ultimate Slip and Slide amid an outbreak of Giardia on the Simi Valley, from California, on the Simi Valley, California set. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Giardia is a microscopic parasite found on surfaces or in soil, food, or water that has been contaminated with feces from infected people or animals.
Can I ask you a question before you carry on?
Sure.
Did you know previous to this article about Giardia?
Yes.
You did. I've never heard of Giardia before. I may have had it in my past. I may have mistaken it for food poisoning or common diarrhea.
The reason I heard of Giardia is was it last year? I got a kitten and we brought it to the vet to get shots and checkup and all that. And they came back and said the kitten has Giardia. So they give him medicine. We had to give him medicine and all that. So yes, I knew what Giardia was. I didn't realize people could get Giardia.
Oh, geez, yeah, you would have had to like. By the way, Stu, the artist formerly known as Stu, if you're listening to this, we're getting weird stories just fine without you. Thank you very much. But of course, he has taken the torch and he is running with it.
But of course, if Stu was here, he'd have a story. Oh, I remember that time I had Giardia in Finland. in the sauna, I shit my brains out, and it steamed for a week.
And I want to hear the story, but now I'm very curious if at some point in my life, we all get diarrhea, we all get the runs, we all get Montezuma's revenge. I'm wondering if at some point in my life I have had Giardia. I'm wondering if it's kind of like 23andMe, if there's some online thing where I can submit saliva and see if I've been subject to Giardia at some point in my life.
I would say most likely you haven't. You would have known a long period of time where you were shitting your brains out.
Okay.
So I don't think you've ever had Giardia. Giardia, when swallowed in food or water, Giardia can be found on surfaces in food or water. When swallowed, it causes a diarrheal disease.
Okay.
Not what you want at the best of times, very much not what you want on a set involving slip and slides. News of the production shutdown was first reported by The Wrap, which reports that up to 40 crew members fell violently ill on set. A source with knowledge of the production said an outbreak of an awful explosive diarrhea led to people collapsing on set and being forced to run into porta potties.
It's convenient that they had the porta potties on hand, though.
Where's the porta potty people from Florida from a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
They would be perfect for this.
They would have made all their money back.
An NBC
spokesperson. The only way to get this is by eating it. Was everybody like going face first down the slide? Like,
it says it's found on surfaces or in soil, food, or water. So I mean, you could have drank something that was infected.
On the buffet,
right? Yeah, it could have been anywhere.
Oh.
Where am I?
How do we spell Giardia, by the way?
Giardia is spelled Giardia.
GIA.
Giardia.
I'm gonna have to research that later. Okay, go ahead.
An NBC spokesperson confirmed the shutdown to EW, Entertainment Weekly. Production was halted on June 2nd when when at least one crew member on the series tested positive for Giardia. The show had nearly completed filming with 1 week left in its scheduled production and will not be returning to the original shooting location. So the entire location now is contaminated. They cannot return to this entire location where they've been filming for God knows how long.
So should these people with Giardia be put in like a Universal Studio lockdown?
Well, they should be separated.
Are they contagious?
Yes. Giardia is contagious. And I learned that from when my kitten that I got had Giardia. They said, it has to be separated because I have other animals. The kitten has to be separated because it is contagious. So, is
there a known vaccine for Giardia?
There's medications and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like I was given what I have to give the cat, like a liquid solution. I had to give the cat for like a week.
Okay.
To clear it up. Spokesperson for Universal Television Alternative Studios, which is producing the series, said the health and safety of everyone on our set is number one priority. So out of an abundance of caution, we have made the decision to stop production of Ultimate Slip and Slide at the current location. We are in the process of determining the next steps in order to complete production.
I wonder if they're going to renew the show. I've never seen Ultimate Slip and Slide.
The series is slated to premiere. It hasn't aired yet. The series is slated to premiere Sunday, August 8th, following the Summer Olympics.
Cave dwellers. We got to all sit around our TVs and watch Ultimate Slip and Slide. And I wonder if they were like, how they've recognized the first responders. They've recognized people that have recovered from COVID and move forward. And I wonder if there will be, contestant number 1A, getting ready to ultimate slip and slide, whatever the fuck it is a Giardia survivor?
That's a good question. We have to find out. The last line in this story, they have a very bad pun. They said, talking about the August 8th premiere, they said, whether it will make that premiere date now seems to be a bit of a crapshoot.
Good one. Good one. They must work for us. Giardia, diarrhea.
Giardia.
I'm still. I know we got to move on, but I'm like, okay, so the first person, whoever it was, ground zero patient of the Giardia, possibly shit their pants going down the slide.
Right.
At said point, patient number 2 touched the wall of the slide and then touched the buffet or the door to the porta potty or something. And it's a highly contagious disease.
Yes.
How does Ghislaine go in? I remember this very much, but how does Ghislaine fall into this?
Unless she has Giardia in the prison. Well, apparently the story is that sewage was spewing into her cell and rat droppings were falling from the ceiling. So
Ghislaine had this Giardia.
No, the story is that sewage has been pouring into her cells, so she may have contracted Giardia, but there's no
refresh my memory who this Ghislaine is. I remember this coming up some time ago.
That was Epstein's right hand girl. She's the one that brought all the young girls to Epstein. Epstein, who supposedly did not kill himself in the cell. She was arrested as well, so she's still being held. And apparently, the latest story is that the sewage is backing up into her cell, and rat droppings are falling from the ceiling.
So she is susceptible at this point to Giardia,
and we have to
understand if this is a matter before the UN or if she is truly guilty of international crimes.
Right.
Gotcha. All right. Sorry about that, Jason. I didn't catch on to. I haven't been reading lately about just. I remember him saying that on another show, but I can't remember where it came from.
And this is why you have me. I know a little bit about a lot of things.
You are the most reliable sidekick that anyone could ask for.
There you go.
So now, I suppose we are going to head into Florida, correct?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me preface this whole segment.
Okay.
Here in the U.S., we have the official kickoff of summer as Memorial Day. You guys up in Canada have the official kickoff of summer generally right around the same time. That's the unofficial start of summer. Summer officially, according to the sun and all that, is June 21st. But before then is the unofficial kickoff of summer. We start barbecuing and all that stuff. For us here in Cave Crew Radio Land, the official start of summer is when somebody in Florida either commits a crime naked or commits a crime and then shits their pants. Luckily for us this year, both have happened within the past week.
This is like a blue moon.
It's
not just one thing.
No, it's not just one.
It's a double feature Florida kickoff to summer.
It is the best kickoff to summer for Florida that we've ever seen in the history of this show.
I can't wait. Which one are we starting with?
We might as well start with the naked chick.
Okay, hang on. So I actually have a video of this, but let me bring up this. I'll let you talk about the story first.
Yeah, the story's got to load, so give me a second.
Yeah, and I've got.
There she is.
There she is, the naked chick from Florida. I hope Amanda's kids aren't watching; they're only listening.
So a Florida woman was arrested after going on a naked rampage at an Outback Steakhouse restaurant, causing thousands of dollars in damages. Tina Kindred, 53, visited a restaurant.
Looks good for 53.
She does look good for 53. I'll give her that. She visited a restaurant in Ocala on June 1st and soon went berserk, throwing alcohol bottles, climbing onto the countertops, and destroying whatever she could get her hands on before she was tased by police and taken into custody.
Okay, let's bring this down here.
Yeah.
Where the heck is that video?
You could play the video, and then that will lead into the next segment. So play the video, please.
I gotta make sure the video mutes, or we're gonna get echo. Hang on. How do I mute this?
That's all right. Oh, and she was getting tased.
Do it now! Do it now! On your stomach! On your stomach! On your stomach! On your stomach! You're gonna get it again! On your stomach! On your stomach! Put your hands behind your back! Behind your back! I'm inside. Come on in. Come on in.
Oh my God, I'm shaking. Oh my God, I'm shaking.
How long is he gonna tase her for?
So he's no longer tasing her. The probes are stuck in her.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't hear the brrr, he's no longer tasing her. And this is the destruction that she caused inside the Outback Steakhouse.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We don't do that very often, but we give you live video. And Jason Scott was loving the 53-year-old MILF.
The clip shows Kindred throwing the bottles of liquor from behind the bar towards the officers from the Ocala Police Department, who had been called to the restaurant after reports of a disturbance. When the officer arrived around lunchtime, witnesses outside the Outback location warned police before they went in that Kindred was destroying everything in the bar. This fucking story, this thing.
Was she fully clothed when she walked into the bar?
I'm assuming, but now my phone is fucking frozen, so I can't read the rest of the story.
Well, there's many questions. We've seen the video. We don't really need to read things. Why did she need to lie on her stomach before she was tased?
No, she was tased, and then when she went down, it's a typical police.
Oh, so she's convulsing,
right?
If you don't mind, ma'am.
Right, get on your stomach and put your hands behind your back so they can handcuff her. That's a typical. That's a normal police reaction.
But I know you tased Choo Choo Stew that one time, but I'm kind of wondering if when you're tased, you're really reacting that well.
It depends. It depends. Police officers say that tasers work about 50% of the time. There are a number of mitigating factors involved in tasing. If it's in the winter and you're wearing a number of layers on your clothing, the taser is not going to penetrate, so you're not going to feel the taser. If you are on drugs, the adrenaline may be so pumping through your body so much that she's they're not going to feel the taser. And Jason Scott says she's maybe into stuck fetish.
I'm thinking she's into the opposite.
Right.
She's into free love fetish. She's in whatever the opposite of stuck is. She's that.
Right. So there could be a number of reasons why the taser doesn't work. In this case, she's obviously high on something. So the officer is tasing her. You see at first it didn't affect her because she's still standing. She eventually dropped, and then obviously they want the person to get on their stomach and put their hands behind their back so they can handcuff them.
Is that for possibility of vomit as well?
No, that's just for control.
Oh,
so
okay.
You control the suspect, you handcuff them, and then you try to mitigate the situation and try to get it done with as safely and as quickly as possible. It says here the responding officer said when he entered the premises, he saw glass and liquor all over the bar and encountered a highly agitated and very naked Kindred. She soon began
quite naked.
She was quite naked.
He ain't stuck, I'll tell you that.
she soon began muttering incoherent words and throwing the bottles of one of which hit him in the forearm. The officer said the officer tased her twice in order to handcuff her. THC was found in her system, but nothing else to explain her outlandish behavior. Now, THC is like
tobacco. That's it. It was just tobacco.
Right. THC is like weed, so it really shouldn't.
It's what she's either eating gummies, brownies, or she's smoking a fucking joint.
Right. So that shouldn't really, cause you to experience that kind of behavior.
The dark side of the moon or Strawberry Fields or wherever she's at right now.
It should be the opposite. She should be mellow and all that. So there's something else going on.
An Outback steak.
Following an assessment, she was moved to Marion County Jail and charged with aggravated assault and a felony criminal mischief. Her bond was set at $12,000. There is no mention whether or not she tried to pay it off on weekly statements of $100.
No, you're making that up.
Of course I am.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, anything's believable tonight. I have a couple questions.
Now, look, hold on. This fucking story just keeps freezing my phone.
Well, let me ask questions and it'll unfreeze.
I just wanted to bring this up first. This is her mugshot. And you can see in her eyes, she's all sorts of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a lunatic.
Yes. She looks like she's on THC. Right. What the fuck do you think? Why is that woman there staying? What is going through the chick in the booth?
So my theory is this woman at the booth obviously lives in Florida and is used to all this behavior. So this is just another Tuesday afternoon in Florida.
So she's just having her vanilla ice cream with strawberry topping.
That's it.
And she's not leaving. There's not a chance. She's getting her free dessert. It's her fourth visit of the month. And she's part of the Outback Steakhouse Dessert Club.
That's it. Now, this is a story she's going to go back and tell her coworkers after lunch. She's going to be like, you never know. You're never going to believe what I saw during our lunch break.
She's so calm. I deleted the video, but I wonder if she was sitting through the entire thing.
I don't know. I'm curious. You know what? As long as nothing was thrown in her direction, I'm sure she was, because it's a naked chick fucking, being a psychopath throwing liquor bottles. She's not really harming people. She's just being a fucking crazy.
I have two more statements to make before you carry on with the story. Number one, why am I not ever so lucky as to see something like this when I go out to an Outback Steakhouse or an Applebee's or an Olive Garden? Number one, I've never seen this.
You don't live in Florida or the Canadian equivalent, which is, I forget what it's called, the island. What is it?
Oh, Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. You don't live in Newfoundland, and you don't live in Florida. So that's why you don't see it.
I need to go to Florida and when things open up. I need to. And I need not to just go to Disney World and places like that. I need to see some of the local culture.
Right.
Now, my other question is, was she clothed? Like, was she dining? Or did she enter like some nymph out of the wild?
The story, again, like we always experience, not enough details. The story does not mention that.
So what are you imagining? She couldn't have gotten away walking down Main Street and 4th completely naked. Something would have happened. Someone would have stopped her beforehand. She had to at least have been in a bathrobe or a negligee.
It's Florida. She may very well have, but I'm going more towards the line because there's no mention in the story of, any previous, she was seen at the fucking, Wawa, whatever the fuck it is, throwing things naked. So I'm guessing she came into the Outback clothed, suddenly took her clothes off for whatever reason and started throwing bottles and shit.
Right. Here's what I'm thinking. She sat at the bar or ordered something and they didn't have her choice liquor.
Right.
She removed herself to the ladies' room and marched out in all her glory.
Right.
And proceeded to act like a chimpanzee, hopping all over the bar and the restaurant, smashing things.
It is very, very possible.
I'm still troubled more than anything we've spoken about tonight with that woman with her little sorbet in the background. She's like, I don't give a shit. I'm staying.
Again, she's from Florida. This is like a normal occurrence. This is nothing to her.
I'm wondering, like, is she the one that called 911?
I don't think she's the one to call 911. I'm sure staff in the Outback Steakhouse called 911.
Right. She's too busy stirring her martini or whatever the fuck she's got for her.
Right.
And she's like, she probably escaped from an old age home and she's like, fuck, I picked a good day to run.
She's just happy, they aren't coming for her.
But like, this could be a painting in a museum.
Oh, I could see, hundreds of people lined up and saying what kind of wonderful artwork this is.
Because look at the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
You have the naked slut.
Right.
On the forefront. And then you got Granny knitting.
Right.
It's like a modern day Charlotte's Web.
I'm writing that down.
I don't think that was that good, but anyway, like inside this tangled web we weave. And you've got more.
I have some more. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's either somebody naked committing a crime or somebody shitting their pants committing a crime. Here is part 2 of the greatest kickoff to summer in Florida history.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to the opposite sex just to show her. And by the way, Jason says that it sounds like a side effect of Giardia.
Well, I think this story, Jason, would be a side effect of Giardia. A half-naked Florida man who burgled his neighbor's house because God told him to was arrested, but not until after he assaulted the Marion County police officer by throwing a Bible at him and screaming, "I condemn you." Robert Haskins, 39, kicked down the front door to the victim's Summerfield home to steal clothes after his request to borrow some was refused.
Where are the clothes?
Not on him, apparently.
Right.
Where am I? When confronted by the homeowner, Hoskins told him, "I fucked up, man. I was mad." Officers arrived at the scene shortly after.
He's asking for repentance, though. It shows he's a Christian. I fucked up, man. I was mad. That's basically their way of saying, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Clad only in underwear, Hoskins was hostile towards the deputies, running up to their car as they arrived and throwing a Bible at one of the officers' face while shouting, "I condemn you," according to a Click Orlando. He eventually had to be tasered so that he could be handcuffed and taken into custody.
Was he told to lie on his stomach?
This is like freezing my phone.
I know, but here's the question while you're waiting for the freeze. Was he also told to lie on his stomach?
That is not mentioned in the story.
All right. Just curious if this is a common theme. Well,
So-
tased. Not that I ever want to be tased, but
So they say the drama wasn't over once Hoskins was handcuffed. Instead, he then pooped his pants. And
hang on, we need something here. Hang on, there's just got to be something I got here. What am I looking for? Oh, we got Giardia.
he pooped his pants and then asked to speak to a particular deputy. So he shit himself and then said, I want Officer Wilson here. I am not going to speak to anybody but Officer Wilson.
Could you imagine being Officer Wilson, one of his buddies? Yeah, Officer, I know you're having a donut and a coffee, but this guy asked for you by name and he just shit himself.
And of course, I'm sure the officer would be like, again? And he'd come over like it's a normal thing.
This can't be a first.
If any
clothing in Florida, is it that hot?
It's hot and humid in Florida.
I know, but like, can you not at least put on a pair of, I don't know, Lululemon stylish shorts or
You don't know what humidity can do. Humidity sucks. If any other deputy came over to him, he would go silent and simply stare into space. He then tried to break free of the cuffs and run away, all while a load is in his pants, but he wasn't successful on that front either.
So it's a really stupid observation, but so they don't clean the person once they soil themselves.
I don't know, not on site, no.
So they just allow him to roll around in his poop.
Yeah, that's it, and he'll get cleaned up eventually. He claimed that
he was like looking for a sign though, because anyone that spoke to him, other than Officer Wilson, he just stared blankly. Did Wilson eventually come?
I guess because he claimed that God told him to break into his neighbor's house. When questioned, he also claimed that he freed her in regard to the neighbor's daughter. I don't know where that came from. Thankfully, there are no reports of the daughter in question being harmed or even coming into contact with Hoskins. So he was just, out of his friggin' mind. Again, this fucking story freezes my phone.
Well, while the story is freezing, we'll bail you out. Could you imagine? I've told you I've never gone to a nice restaurant and seen a voluptuous naked lady smashing bottles against the wall and then being tased. You fuckers want to waste your time on fucking stuck fetish content. I'd much rather see a voluptuous woman be tased in the restaurant as I'm enjoying my my shrimp cocktail before my meal. But also, could you imagine something like this happening in your neighborhood?
It would be amazing. After being booked
on TikTok.
And yes, don't go on TikTok. This fucking thing. This fucking ads. After being booked into Marion County Jail, Hoskins was charged with burglary to an unoccupied dwelling, petty theft, criminal mischief, and property damage, battery on an officer, and resisting an officer without violence. He was later released on $13,000 bond. Again, no word on whether he paid that off in weekly payments of $100.
Right. Which seems to be common in tonight's themes.
Right.
So there is no penalty if you excrete yourself after being tased. It's
no, it's just, it is what it is. And it's funny, when Live PD was on, and I would watch it. There was a number of times where
I missed that show.
That show was awesome.
It's a highlight of my Fridays.
Well, you can thank liberals for that. But I would watch the show, and there would be a number of times where you'd have a drunk suspect, rolling around on the ground. And I remember one episode specifically where he had shit himself. The officers came over and got a whiff and was like, "Whoa, I'm not going near him." Later on, an
immediate risk. It's like the officers should be armed with an EpiPen for Giardia.
It's amazing what they have to go through.
Myself in that kind of risk.
It's amazing what they have to go through. And then I remember later on in the segment, the suspect says he's currently shitting himself again. The cop was just standing there like, "Great. Go to it, have fun." And they had to call, and what they had to do was call the medics. Now, the medics are the ones that I feel really bad for because they actually have to physically take him to the hospital, shit in his pants and all.
Well,
and they got to smell him.
If you're forced with I'm going to be in an open toilet with 50 other guys, I might as well shit myself while I'm out here on the lawn.
Yeah. I feel bad for those guys.
I I think we need some serious addressing to mental health with the stories that we cover. Great fun. We have a lot of laughs, but in all seriousness, there's a lot of fucking whack jobs out there.
And they all apparently live in Florida.
And we can argue till we're blue in the face about vaccines and liberals and Republicans, but there's these people that are out there running around,
shitting themselves and throwing Bibles.
Do when they're not getting caught on TikTok or video or like who knows what they're doing the rest of the time.
I can't. I would assume, being from Florida, this is either flakka or meth. One of the two.
I think this guy sits on his couch, and like we've all been there, right? It's a big game, or it's getting to a real interesting point in the movie, or whatever it is, and we really got to pee, and we're squirming on the chair because we don't want to miss something. Does the guy just shit himself? Does he just go for his own personal Giardia buffet? Like,
see, you're thinking way too much about it, because obviously, if we're doing that, and we're watching a movie, we're in of a sober mind.
Right. Well, even if I'm drunk, I still know I have to urinate in a toilet, or at least a sink, or at least outside in the backyard.
Right. Even when you're drunk, and what I mean by a sober mind is you understand right from wrong. You understand basic human nature. When you're on flakka or meth, all that goes out the window. So you're just whatever happens. So, if you're rolling around throwing Bibles at cops and getting arrested and tased, and you suddenly shit, that is just what happens. It's even when you're drunk. I've been completely plastered. I've still pissed in the toilet. I've never, pissed anywhere else.
Remember one time I got a ticket down at City Hall because I was like walking around downtown, and we were on City Hall property, and I had to pee, and I did it on a tree, and the cop was there, and I got a ticket for public urination, but I didn't get tased, and I didn't soil myself.
But again, you're of sober mind.
And by the way, folks, this was like a long, long, long time ago.
Yesterday.
Last lockdown is boring me. No, there's nowhere to go to a public toilet. What did you expect me to do, officer?
All the porta potties are gone.
Yes, all the restaurants are locked down, and the only thing is outdoor dining. Where do you expect me to pee? Myself?
Well, they would say
I can't go to the laundromat because they're closed too, so I can't pee myself.
But again, you're of sober mind.
Right.
These people are on all sorts of fucking drugs, and their mind is gone. They're not where, even when you're drunk, you're in the moment. You're slurring speeches, you're acting stupid, but you're in that moment. When you're on these drugs, you have no idea where you are. You don't know what day it is. You don't know what time it is. You don't know who you are. You will have zero recollection of the past week when you finally sober up.
The worst thing I've seen, and I've seen a bit. I've been around a little bit, but you walk by someone and they're like,
right.
But I've never seen anybody like do anything as extreme. I mean, I've seen a lot of wasted people, but you go to Detroit, you go to Chicago, you go to Toronto, you see strange people. They do really, really weird things, but nothing to this. This is like the upper echelon of whatever those drugs are you were talking about.
And that's why this happens in Florida, because that's the place.
I don't think it only happens in Florida. I just think there must be much more entertainment tonight. And what do they call the nut jihads? But what do they call the people that follow people around with the cameras? Paparazzis. And they're much more affluent to TikTok and other forms of social media. I just, I hope this guy gets help, and the other lady too.
More fun for us. That's what I say.
I just,
wait for a second to get a bottle of water.
Yeah. Oh, you're switching now. You're All this talk about dirty living, ladies and gentlemen. Big B has chosen to he's chosen to lead a cleaner life. Shall you add some of that green shit in there?
No, I don't. I know I'm not putting green stuff in tonight.
Are you still on that regimen?
Oh yeah, it's right there.
Okay. All right, Big B switching to water. The show is he wants to make sure he's of sound mind when he goes to see his wife.
Remember what I said at the very beginning of the show. I have to put together a table. I have to cook. I have to make the sauces. I have to do all these things tomorrow. I can't be hungover and fucking have a headache and shake like I'm fucking, coming down from fucking, uppers.
So there's no post show with Big B tonight.
Oh, there can be a post. I just won't be completely inebriated like I normally am.
All right. Well,
generally he hasn't shown up tonight, but Short Sai has been like the man every week, just messaging me after the show, and we have some conversation.
What was that post last week? Was that one of those places you make a meme? It was like from 2016, and Erica Jordan posted "Beware." I don't have it in front of me.
I don't. I guess back when we first met Eric the Swede, I guess he posted that on our page, and Short Sai, being the creep that he is, found it and reposted it or showed it to us.
Okay. I don't remember him telling me I was the elephant god Gamorg or whatever it was. I
don't remember that either.
If Short Sai is not here tonight, he is definitely listening on download. So a big shout out to one of our number one guys.
Me and Short Sai have become good buddies through the after show. He messages me. We have good conversation.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'm not as popular. He doesn't contact me as much. But that's okay. I got other people that contact me.
I'm in negotiations to be on his wife's show.
No, it's far too. I would love to go on that show. Screams and moans.
Yeah.
So we have a few minutes before we have to name the show. We're ahead of ourselves, but that's okay. Here's something else we were holding off on. As we've told you many times, ladies and gentlemen, Big B was once part of a very large network, as was I. That bottle is polished off. Called All Radio X. Will live in infamy, and it may have an IMDb or whatever it's called, or Wikipedia. I don't know. Ran by the infamous Brody James. But this gentleman was a co-host of a show previous to Big B's show. They lead off with a nice Goldfish collection show before the heavy metal show. He's retired numerous times, but apparently has raised his ugly head again.
God.
Oh, wait, I got a picture. I didn't even realize I have a picture. Let's bring him on screen.
Oh, good God, why?
Our very good friend. Let's see what he's been up to the past couple of weeks.
Hey, everyone. Alex Cardinelli here. How are you guys and gals doing today? Welcome to my live video podcast. I am doing something unique and new today. Today, I present to you a series that I call Story Time with Alex Cardinelli. This is going to be where I share some moments and funny events with you that happened in my life. Everything that happened in my life, I will share with you in this series, Story Time with Alex Cardinelli.
I can't wait.
That's got to be a short series.
Well, all of them are. Right? It's like, I apologize. I've gotten too busy. I now need to focus on my WWE show and fish keeping or baking.
Fish keeping.
Story Time with Alex Cardinelli. And it's a unique, and how did he word that? I'm going to see if we get this again. It was a unique and...
Hey, everyone. Alex Cardinelli here. How are you guys and gals doing today? Welcome to my live video podcast. I am doing something unique and new.
Unique and new. A live video podcast.
Because nobody
on you in 2016.
Because nobody on this planet has done a live video broadcast where they tell stories about their lives. Not one person. Me and DK and Choo Choo.
We have not beaten that dead horse. There's not a chance that I'm going to steal your idea, Alex Cardinelli, and you're in trouble now because now your idea is out. And we're going to use it. And we're going to start to tell stories on a live video podcast.
Oh my God. What's next? Is he gonna go to Florida and read stories from Florida?
No, at any it's amazing that he lives there.
He lives there now. He used to live in fucking Massachusetts.
He's living at the Circus Trailer Park. But at any point in your career, you know, we've been doing this a while. We've built a little bit of confidence in ourselves. We've been together for quite some time. Yeah. But at any point in your career, did you ever listen to yourself and go, I need to refine that? You know, a little bit uptight. The
first metal shows I did back in I want to say 2011 maybe. I don't remember. 2008, whatever it was, I don't remember. But the first shows I did, I would always listen back while I was at work because they would go out live and they would be recorded. So I'd listen to them while I was at work and I would critique myself. Like, you know, I can hear myself breathing on the mic. You know, I sound too rehearsed and scripted in this part, you know, and eventually you figure out your cadence, you figure out your rhythm, and you figure out, you know, you just talk like yourself.
Yeah, you're never perfect, but you try. Like, I think you and I, like, oh, the phone's freezing, I jump in, you know, we help each other out. I'm having some technical difficulties. You get a rhythm going where it's not perfect, but there's a flow.
Right, at 100%. Yeah. And you know, and then I would listen to, because at that time I was just doing it with one person, you know, my friend Scott, and I would listen to it and I'd tell him, you know, things too. It's like, oh, you know, you sounded weird on this part or whatever. And we would work on it because we played in a band. So we understand what criticism was and how to work on things.
Right.
So we would work on it together.
Being critical of yourself is okay.
100%.
Yeah.
And we would work on it. You know, we became better at it and better at it because we were both new at it. You know, leading up to now, you know, where, like you said, me and you have a flow. You know, we speak like, you know, we normally speak, you know, throughout the day to other people while we're not on the
we kind of know when to jump in and when not to, and yeah, we've got a rhythm,
right?
And that rhythm to our giardia,
and that comes from experience. Yeah. That comes from practice over and over and over again, and it should be. I know where you're going with this. It should be a natural progression,
right? So it's never changed. And I there's a few times, and I don't know why. I mean, like the one time in the restaurant, imagine all the people sitting around him.
Oh my God!
I'm eating veal linguine.
He was literally. He's in for those of you who don't know. He would do he's done a number of different topical shows. And his one show was he was reviewing this restaurant where he lived. And he would sit there and you could hear in the background the ambient noise of a restaurant, diners eating and whatnot. He would sit there and literally scream at the top of his lungs, I'm eating linguine and clam sauce with meatballs, and it is just wonderful. Like a fucking mentally ill retard.
He would call over the head waiter, Paul.
Oh my God, like a fucking mentally ill retard. And he'd have fucking Jeremy Stellhorn sitting right next to him, fucking screaming their idiot heads off. I could just imagine the people in the table next to them just be like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
I just want to have a nice meal with the family.
He's done some interviews. Like this week, I've got Jim Jones from Jim Jones Fish Shop, and we're going to do an interview. You've been interviewed, so have I. We are more the ones that do the interviews, but could you imagine? So what was your experience the first time you were live on air? Was it fun?
And that you're speaking of, critiquing yourself and doing that. The first time we did interviews back on the Metal Show, again, we would figure out what worked and what didn't, and we're interviewing, professional musicians.
Right.
So we have to kind of be on a professional level. We have to step up our game. So we would figure out what worked and what didn't. And the one thing I always learned when I was in broadcasting school is you come prepared with certain topics, but if the interviewee mentions something, you go with that. You forget your topics and just go with what he's saying. And that's, what we had figured out when we did our interviews. When he does his interviews, it's literally, never mind what that person's saying. This is the very next question I have to ask.
Yeah, and I've done interviews on other shows, and we've done them on our show as well. And the one thing I learned first out of the gate was scripted questions don't work.
Right.
So if I'm interviewing you, which I did on that other show I did for a brief while, I'm going to elaborate on what you're feeding me.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
half of it may end up on the cutting room floor.
Yep.
You want a little bit of a guide of the questions you want to ask, but you don't want to question number 2.
Exactly. You start off with you have a list of things you want to talk about. And when you first start the interview, the topic number 1, that's what you start off with. And wherever they take you, you follow, because that's what they want to talk about. That's what they're interested in.
And quite often, with any guest, be it an author or a rock musician or a comedian or a podcast host, when you go off, you're getting the stuff that the other shows don't get, because you're not the only one interviewing that person. So you end up giving a different side of the story, and quite often showing a little bit of the personality and the ambiance, if I can use that, of that person.
I give you a perfect example. We interviewed Paul Di'Anno, which was the original singer of Iron Maiden, and he's over in England. So we did it on like a Sunday morning our time. And, we went in with the list of questions, and the way the conversation went, once we got rolling, he was a very, very funny guy. And we wound up getting a great story about him, Iron Maiden, and him being on tour with Kiss, and almost getting into a fight with Ace Frehley. Now, this wasn't planned.
No.
I had no idea this story even existed. But, the way us talking and, just you going through things, it wound up where he told us this great story about how he almost got into a fight with Ace Frehley. It was fucking amazing.
Right. He was relaxed. You were relaxed. It's like when we have people on here and you see me in the chats, I say, it's just like sitting around a kitchen table or at a bar.
Right.
It's very loose. It's just be yourself. We have no script. Things pop in our heads, and whatever pops into your head, run with it.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that went sour for us was the Christian Bigfoot hunter.
That's right. Yes.
That did not go well.
That did not go because, his Christian church friends were listening, and we were calling him out, but not in a mean way. We're calling him out on, some stuff saying, how come with all the camera phones now, there are no actual pictures of Bigfoot, stuff like that.
Yeah.
He didn't want to answer because his church friends were listening, and he dropped off. He just basically hung up on us.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like, what did he do? Step in front of the church during announcements and say, I'm going to be on an interview show. Did you not do any research? If I pick a stranger, like, Amish comic Matt, Eric, any of those people that come on the show multiple times,
right?
Jeff in California, they all know what we're getting at.
Sure.
I always say we'd like to have you on the show, unscripted, adult humor. Here's our link. Check us out. We'd like to talk to you.
Right.
I never pretend it's going to be ABC News tonight.
Of course, and I do the same thing. Even when I was going after, and I would book, high name members from Slayer, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Testament, Death. I was going after high names in the music industry. I was straight up with them. I would always tell them, we're a small internet radio show. It's more of a hangout. It's just like, we really have no set questions that we're going to ask you. We're just going to hang out, talk about your history, talk about whatever new thing you're doing. And, we're just going to bullshit and have some fun. And I've gotten any interview we did, I got nothing but praise. And a lot of the times the guys came back and were like, I've done thousands of interviews. You guys were extremely professional and I loved being on your show.
Right. And the only thing internet radio has possibly on other mediums is we can swear and we can be ourselves and we can have a little bit of fun.
That was always great when talking to the guys, and that would be the very first question. 99% of them would ask, "Can we curse on this show?" It's like, "Fuck yeah, go curse!" And they would go off. They would tell stories and go off, and it would be great.
I can't remember who. I can't give you specific examples, but I remember a few times on the show. Is it okay to swear? And we'd be like, "Yeah." You obviously haven't researched us.
Right. And I think that was, when we're talking to these big time musicians, they're used to print media, television, where they have to be very in a box, so to speak.
Constructed. I get
as soon as we tell them
interviews for major things, but I mean, a little hockey magazine comes along and you don't want to tell them what you give the answer. You always talk about the team as we and us.
Right, of course. But I think that as soon as we told them that, you could say whatever you want, you can curse, that dropped the wall for all of them.
Well, because you can be yourself, right?
Exactly. They could be themselves. They were immediately relaxed.
It's not a job interview.
Right.
You're hanging out. And whatever comes on your mind, just say it.
And I remember one show where we had Bobby Gustafson from Overkill talking about his solo album, which I played on. We're talking about, he was on the show for the entire show, which was 2 hours. And then after the show, still hung on the line and talked to us for another hour after the show.
Right.
Just bullshit. He was so comfortable with us. We were talking about a whole bunch we ran the gamut of things. He was so comfortable about what he was doing.
And that's and the other thing I like with us is how often is there only a singular guest appearance?
Mm.
Very rare with us.
Very, very rare.
Very rare. Even Eric. He was scared shitless last week that he was hosting the show by himself like Kelly Ripa.
Right.
But as soon as we said, no, we'll be here, he jumped right on it. But anyway, look, you've got to build things. I've got to see what's for dinner and get on to my Father's Day weekend as well. It's that time where we need to name the show. And I think we've kind of lost everybody along the way, unless I'm missing something, or they're on the Cave Crew page. But it's the time where we name the show. And I'm feeling a little conservative tonight. I think you have 4.
You're wrong.
My guess tonight. You have 4.
You are wrong.
How many do you have?
I did. I was reading news most of the night, so I didn't get a chance to write much of anything. I have 2.
Oh, see, and I knew that, but I thought I'm gonna go with 4. But anyway, I have a couple things written down too before you begin.
Sure.
I really loved it's like saving for your 401k. That'll be in the show notes. I also like the stuck fetish content. And I wrote down ultimate slip and slide. I can't remember why I like that, but I really did like you're saving for your 401k. It was probably one of my highlights.
That is funny, and people wouldn't get it. That they would it would be one of those titles where they would listen and be like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Yeah.
The two I have is I found this extremely funny. A modern day Charlotte's Web.
Modern day Charlotte's Web. Okay.
And I think one I like a little bit above that, folding chair twister.
I like that one. Like that fits good for a title. So I don't see anybody out there to vote. If you want to send us your protests or anything like that, I have to agree. Folding chair twister, but a modern day Charlotte's Web, and like you're saving for your 401k, and stuck fetish content, I'm sure we'll make it into the show notes. Fast and Furious show, ladies and gentlemen. Reaming the Amish comic next week. Enjoy our voices, because you may not hear us get too many words in. You might just hear a lot of laughing.
Right.
But we are excited to have Raymond back on. And he has since, he always talks about how he likes what we do through this whole COVID stuff. He did his own show every Saturday night on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Raymond from his living room. So I'm sure we'll hear about that. And hopefully he's able now, as things are opening up over there, to get back out in front of live audiences, which is where he wants to be. So, all right, kids, we're going to throw this back up here, and we will see you next week. Big B's going to go build things. I am going to log into the computer and book my vaccination. And we will be here next week on a pre-show and with Raymond, the Amish comic. We'll see you later.
Later.
Thank you very much for listening to the show. Now stay safe, take care, and wash your hands.
Cave Crew Radio.
Live on Facebook,
YouTube, and cavecrewradio.com. And always on demand, wherever podcasts are found.
Search Cave Crew Radio.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
And then I tweeted, we're going to have many millions between Facebook and Twitter spread. It's like owning a newspaper without the losses. It's incredible.